Hello, fellow Jitsters. Nice to see everyone here again. All right, so I can't think of anything I have off the top of my head. Um, the topics of work that we have are the same as before. We have been experimenting with large calls on Meet Jitsi for a while. We're moving them closer to a stable state. We are happy with the model. We're happy with how it's performing. I think also work on AV1 is progressing nicely. I know that Jaya was trying to look up why it was failing with end-to-end encryption. Jaya, do you want to give a little bit of an update on that entire video codec stuff?
Yeah, sure. So, like, the server side was it's all code complete, it's in review, and then on the client side also I have a PR which introduces AV1 codec settings. So there are a few different modes we support. So the default mode would be AV1 full SVC, and we have different options to, like, we could actually use configure the client to use simulcast as well, and then even with the simulcast and SVC we can use the L3T3 key scalability mode, which is like similar to what KSVC does. So, and then we've been playing with different bit rates and different modes to see what's the best mode. I think, yeah, we are almost done there, and then I'm going to merge the PR today or tomorrow, and then we can start testing this on beta. It doesn't, I mean, the end-to-end encryption is not working for everyone. We still don't know. I think Jonathan was going to take a look at that. Jonathan, did you have any more updates?
Yeah, that's on my to-do list. Take a look at that. Other than that, no.
I didn't hear.
Okay. I said it's on my to-do list to take a look at the issues that JF found, but I haven't. Other than that, I don't have any other updates to report.
All right. Thank you, both of you. Does anyone else on the team want to update this crowd here on anything they're working on? All right. Then I'm opening the microphone to the floor. Are there any questions or comments from the community?
This is Stan.
Hey, Stan.
I was I appreciate the login process, and it has to be done with the public Jitsi, but I was wondering if it might be possible to expand an explanation on that entry screen, because a lot of the new people aren't aware of it, and since I had a problem last time getting in, it took me quite a while. A lot of people were really concerned that the meeting had been canceled or something. I understand the process, but it's kind of hard for me to get it out to new people so that they understand it.
Yeah, the easiest way to explain it is the first participant has to be authenticated. It can be anyone. It doesn't have to be the organizer of the meeting. The meeting will start as soon as someone authenticates. So it's the least invasive process involving authentication that I think I personally could imagine. And as soon as one person has been authenticated, the room is created, and then everyone else can join without being authenticated, even if the person that created the meeting leaves.
Right. I understand the whole process and everything, and I think it's going quite well, and I really appreciate all the work that has gone into doing this process. I imagine it has kind of thrown a little small monkey wrench into your process, but your entire team does great, wonderful work, and I appreciate the whole process. Thank you.
Thank you for the kind words, Stan. I appreciate it. Are there any other questions or comments?
Yeah, hi, Emil. It's Freddie.
Hi, Freddie. How are you doing?
I'm well, sir. How are you?
I'm doing fantastic. The sun is out, but not too much out. So, it's a lovely Texan day.
Well, couldn't say the same about New York right now, but we won't complain. So just going back to the authentication issue, obviously, I think most of us understand why. I suppose my only question or maybe suggestion is, would it be possible to have maybe like a longer lead term when we have like major changes like this to access? Um, Obviously, there is a, there's always the entitled bunch that no matter what, there would always be some complaint. But I was wondering perhaps if, and I don't know obviously all the details of the conversations or the reason why the implementation had to happen as quickly as it did. But I was wondering, would it be possible to maybe give like a lead term? And the other part of it is I have missed some meetings, the past few meetings, because I kept getting the days wrong. I was showing up on the alternate Mondays, and of course nobody was here. So I was thinking maybe if I'd heard during one of the meetings, even then I don't know if it would have been an official permission from the team to actually post this to make people aware. I guess I'm just trying to find a way to mitigate some of the pushback that we've gotten from people. Clearly, this had to be done. There's no question about that. I think that I was just wondering if it would be possible to give a longer lead term. I don't know, maybe 30 days or something, so people kind of know and they're warned ahead of time. Because it looked like the turnaround on this was pretty fast this time. And of course, we've gotten some not kind words, but I'm not worried about those people. I just think that in the interest of, some degree of fairness or balance, if it's possible. And again, that's bearing whatever happened in the
Hello.
background. Or how things happened or what led to, like, hey, we had to do this right away.
Did
I
I
don't know all
just
that.
lose Freddie or okay? Freddie, sorry, I lost you for a second. I don't know if I lost something or if you dropped out.
I
But
basically was just
okay,
saying, yeah.
I understand.
Good.
I understand. So first of all, I think it's a fair ask, completely. And I can tell you that, just agreeing on the fact that, 30 days sounds like not like a decent upfront notice. That's helpful. And personally, I'll keep that in mind. And I will try for us to go with that next time we're doing something big like that. Now, let me tell you why I cannot promise that this will happen. And I'll also explain why I think we wouldn't bend over backwards to make sure that we do this. After having completely appreciate this is a fair ask. Okay. So number one, we are a non-subscription based service, right? There's no communication, no channel of communication between us and customers. There's no way for us to get information in the face of people through the usual channels. There's usually that's email or some notification on your app, something like that. That's not really an option for us. And even the things that are options, you could say, well, I mean, we could have had a banner on Meet Jitsi for the month preceding the change. Yes. However, that takes us to issue 2, which is process implies an increase in cost. And, for a service that brings no revenue to 8x8, the cost is already substantial. So one of the reasons that we've been able to keep Meet Jitsi around is because we've been extremely disciplined about the amount of cost that gets sunk into it. Like that includes human cost and, how much can we have a dedicated release process for Meet Jitsi, and and things like, have some development to do the extra banner, have an update to show it, have another one to hide it, and all these things. So there's a limit to how much effort it makes sense to throw at an upfront notice. That limit isn't 0. Okay, so we will try to work around that for the people who just want to have their meeting, and try and reduce the disruption for them, so that they're not surprised, just on their way into their very critical meeting, and all of a sudden there's this new thing, and they don't know what to think about it, and maybe it happens that no one had a Google account on that one, and all that. That's fair. Now, the other thing that I was going to say is that while we didn't have a long notice in this case, I think I mentioned it for at least 2 community calls before it happened. And also the community post that went out had almost 0, if not exactly 0, I don't remember exactly, interactions before the change happened. So I also have a suspicion that no matter how early you warn people, until the rubber has hit the road, stuff just gets ignored. And if the whole point of doing an earlier announcement is to just have an excuse and not and be able to tell people, oh, but look, we told you, that I suppose isn't really a great reason to spend resources on, for just buying an excuse without actually solving any problem for anyone. That, like, you could say, ideally, you publish something and people have enough time to think, okay, do I really want a Google account? What how can I have one and still be in line with my privacy requirements? And I give it some thought, a couple of weeks, finally I come up with something, create the account. I'm not too hopeful that anything like that happens. So there's that. Now, after all this, all this is just to say that to explain the part with I personally wouldn't bend over backward to make sure that there is a 30-day lead to the next such change. I also, once again, acknowledge that this is a fair ask, and I will do my best to make sure that we get close to that the next time it happens.
Thank you. That explains it. In that same vein, do you think it's okay, say, I missed those meetings, by the way, so I didn't know, but do you think it's okay? I mean, would you say that, the team will grant approval? Is it where, I suppose it's implicit, like when something big like this is going to happen, would it be okay, for instance, if I shared it, on the forum as a post, maybe from, like when we talk about it in the community call? So let's say you mentioned it today, like, hey guys, this is going to happen. Are you okay with me sharing that in the forum, assuming, of course, that when you share with us or you tell us about in the community call, there's an actual date? Or it could be like, hey guys, heads up, this is going to happen in the near future, or heads up, this is going to happen in 22 days or something like that. Is that okay? I mean, I'm trying to see how we can maybe plug in or fill in some of the gap and offload some of the work, right? So you don't necessarily have to do with that communication bit and throw more resources at it. There's something
let's
happen.
I think the easiest thing is to do it on a case-by-case basis, and next time this happens, we can just have a quick exchange in the community call.
Okay.
And we decide, because the issue here wasn't necessarily that didn't have time to go and post on the forum, but up until we were close to what we were shipping, we weren't exactly sure what we would ship. So I kind of gave a rough heads up on the call, but if someone had pressed me for specific details on, but what exactly is going to work email, and I wouldn't have been able to answer that question. And when we did know exactly what was going to happen, we published it. Now, You could say, we could have just done a PSA. Hey, everyone, just so we know, it is me, Jitsi, will be having authentication a month from now. Without any more details, maybe that we could have done. But then also, that isn't great because, people start wondering, what do you mean? Why? What exactly is this going to be? Theories come up, noise spreads, confusion spreads. So I'm not super convinced that you end up in a substantially better situation, but we can try next time. So let's just, next time there's something like that. If you do learn something on a community call that you feel needs to be shared with the community forum, let's just please raise it and we'll discuss it.
Thank you.
Thank you, Freddie. Stan, you have your hand raised.
Yeah, yes, I posted in the chat my question just to make sure it is better understood. When I do sign in as a moderator, then am I the only one that has the ability to boot someone off, or is that ability still available to everyone that later joins?
No, it's me. Jitsi was always everyone who joins. He's a
Okay, I just wanted to know. Thank you.
Yeah, there you go. And Matteo, no, it doesn't change anything for self-hosted instances. This is, other than it adds, actually, I don't even think that it adds any specific options that weren't already there. So, no.
I'm happy.
Just for the stream, Matteo had asked the question, does login change anything for self-hosted instances? And the answer is no, it changes nothing for self-hosted instances. Any other questions? All right. I don't hear any questions. So thanks very much for stopping by, and you have a wonderful week. See you again in a couple of weeks. Bye.
Oops.
Freddie, did you want to add anything or?
Oh, no. I was just clapping.
Oh,
Thank you.
Oh, okay. All right.
Bye.